Bidenomics is so great that Americans aren't living paycheck to paycheck anymore. They're living pawn shop to pawn shop. Now, people who never ever walked into a pawn shop in their lives are now walking in desperate. Maybe they have their engagement ring in their hand or a few rare coins their grandmother gave them. Given the high cost of food, high cost of gas, everything really is high cost. It's a last resort. People need a little extra cash just to get by. And when pawn shop store inventory rises, that means fewer buyers than sellers. Another sign that for the lowest income Americans, times remain tough. Joining me now is Les Gold, owner of American Jewelry and Loan. And you know him from the reality show, Hardcore Pawn. Les, great to see you. What are your customers
Thank you very much.
telling you now about the situation out there?
Well, my customers have been telling me for years, but lately, in the last 6 months, we have more customers coming in that are desperate in need of money. They need to put food on their table, gas in their tank, and a roof over their heads. So we see a lot more customers coming in now for loans.
And is it just getting by month to month on the basic necessities that they need? Are they trying to pay off loans that they owe, or just food, gas?
No, you're saying month to month. You're saying month to month. Our customers, our clientele, are pawning items to make it through the week. They're not worried about the next month. They're, a paycheck may come and may not come, but they come in each and every day to pawn their items because they're in need of money, like I said, just for the necessities.
Oh, that is just a heartbreak. Are there parts of the country that are worse off that you can kind of glean from your experience in the pawn shop world?
In the pawn business, pawn businesses are all over the United States. And I hear from all of the people that I know that are in the business, everybody across the United States is dealing with the same item, same problems. The retail isn't as good, so you need cash to give out. And there's not always that amount of cash that you can always give out to the customer. The good thing is pawn shops, pawning items, they're non-recourse loans. So it's not going to hurt their credit scores or their ability to get credit.
Now, tell us about the, oddest things that have ever been pawned in your experience. I know it's a long list, but the audience wants to know.
Well, it's a long list, but what comes to mind first is, if you remember Jack Kevorkian, Dr. Death, who did assisted suicides in the state of Michigan, somebody came in and ended up selling me his van. So of all the things that I've ever taken in, that was the most unique. Yeah, the Dr. Death's van.
How much you give for it?
Well, it was on the show. I ended up we made a bet. The guy wanted $40,000. I flipped him 20 or 40. I got it for $20,000. So it was still really not worth the money, but just the idea of having something so iconic, I had to make the deal. So
some more traditional or conservative Americans would say burn it. You once said that pawn shops can predict the economy 6 months in advance, but we keep hearing Bidenomics is working, the economy's getting better and improving. We've been hearing that for some time. So what's your prediction now?
Well, I see it each and every day. 6 months ago, we have two lines that come to the store, the redeem line, which is the line that people pick up their merchandise, and the pawn line, which is the line that they bring in their merchandise to get money on. Right now, the pawn line is probably twice as long as the redemption line for people picking up merchandise. So we know in advance. We're street-level economists. We know what's happening way before the media does.
Les, it is both fascinating and deeply disturbing. Americans deserve better than this, but thank you very much for explaining this to us. We needed to understand.